Hey folks, it's a beautiful day. Um, so as you all know, we are being ordered by the government, or the government is ordering the CIRB to create a vote for us to vote for Canada Post's final offer. What does that mean? Well, that means it's out of our hands. It belongs to the CIRB. When are we going to vote? I don't know that information yet. How are we going to vote? I don't know that information yet. I don't know if it's going to be in person, online, through the mail. I have no idea. Um, what I can tell you is that our board is meeting with the CIRB to demand a couple of things. One, they want a draft copy written of the collective agreement because we need to know what we're voting on. And that's just a simple fact. The documents that Canada Post has made available to you, that I'm not going to make available to you currently, through me anyway, you can go stumble onto Canada Post website and find it yourself, are not necessarily entirely contractual language. So where do we go from here? Well, I'm waiting and I'm talking to people and trying to make people feel a certain amount of ease. Um, I have some significant concerns, though. Regardless of what the contract offer is, I think it's really important for people to understand that we're voting not just on a contract offer, but for the future of the post office. So we look back at this as a bit of a follow the yarn on the wall here. Doug Ettinger set out his plan in 2022 to spend, I think it was $5 billion over 4 years. He's done that. He spent all of our money, all of our savings, and now is pleading poverty. He's been using this to increase the value of the company from like $10 to $13 billion by the purchase of capital assets. So partway through his term, after I think it was $3 billion down the tubes, he was rehired by the federal government, rehired and given a 20% raise, which means that the government is very happy with what he's doing. They're happy he's blowing all the money. They're happy he's investing all these capital assets. So the government's on board with this as well. And a little political theory here is whether you're voting for liberals or conservatives, you're voting for what's called neoliberalism. And neoliberalism believes that private industry is the way to go with everything. And if you read Doug Ettinger's most recent financial report, his president's message, he talks about getting private partners in on the business. So people say, well, you can't do that. It's the post office. Well, the Canada Post Act only defends us as far as delivery of the mail. If it didn't, then we would have an exclusive privilege on the delivery of parcels, which we do not, right? Purolator, FedEx, DHL, UPS, ICS, Chit Chats, Mom and Pop, all these different places all deliver parcels, and we don't have an exclusive privilege on that. Well, what does this mean? Well, it sounds like he wants a private-public partnership, or commonly referred to by other people who know better as pilfering the public purse. So they would invest in us and they would choose which portions of our business they would have, and that would be things like parcel delivery through Purolator or Coho for banking. Or if we wanted to expand our services even more, it could be Rogers for internet services and all these things. And ultimately, when they change, if they change the Canada Post Act, I suspect that they would try to privatize mail delivery in the city, which is where we make money. And then it would be left in the hands of the Canadian taxpayer to pay for mail delivery in the countryside. And that will just be a money-losing operation. So this vote, regardless of what's in the contract, and my recommendation so far from what I've seen is no, and the recommendation of our National Executive Board, who've had the contents for a while, is also a no. So we need to consider about that. And I'll have more information for that in the future once the CIRB decides exactly what we're voting on. But I feel like this has more to do with the future of the public post office. So you may want to consider that as well. But hang on, keep your chin up. We're still moving. Yeah. And if we vote no, we are right where we are, right? Like nothing changes except they can't make us vote again. We are in a position where we can be legislated, we can be arbitrated, we can be on strike, we can be locked out, or we could get a negotiated contract. 2006 was the only time they've ever used this law, and that was against the Amalgamated Transit Union in Toronto. The membership there voted no, and they got a negotiated contract. The major issues were negotiated, and the minor issues went to arbitration. So Although that's not a statistically significant sample, so I can't say that that'll happen. I know attitudes will change after the vote, but I don't know which way it'll go. But basically, if we vote no, we are exactly where we are. If we vote yes, we accept the consequences of that decision and we move on. All right? Have a great day.